ask that you use me in a way that allows this message to resonate, connect, and reach those whom it's intended for. That it's less of me and more of you, and that this reaches those with soft hearts and open minds. In Jesus' name I pray. Today I want to ask you guys, when it comes to all your negative thoughts, when it comes to all your negative feelings, I want to ask you, what proof do you have for thinking the things you think, for believing the things you think? I think so many times we are more likely to believe the lies we tell ourselves instead of looking at evidence to disprove it, to discredit it. For example, sometimes, man, to be really transparent with y'all and open with y'all, sometimes I feel like people secretly don't like me. People secretly hate me. People secretly are talking down against me. People are secretly wishing for my downfall. People are me in spite or whatever the heck case may be, right? But in reality, I don't really have evidence of this. See, sometimes we have certain insecurities, and these insecurities can stem from whatever reason. And our mind will search for these insecurities to prove them right, right? It's looking for evidence to say, you see how they didn't say happy birthday? You see how they didn't hold the door for you? You see how they weren't excited when you showed up? You see how they didn't, right? So it's like our mind is constantly looking for validation or proof of these negative things, but it never looks for proof or validation to disprove it and to remove the insecurity and to give us confidence, right? So when I ask you, think about the things that you are struggling with mentally, the things that you're struggling with internally, the things that you're battling that no one sees. Think of those things. And then that you have against it. You could be in a relationship and you can feel like, oh, this person is saying this or this person is thinking this or thinking that, right? Recent event. But don't you have more proof saying otherwise? That's it. We tend to overgeneralize things. At a point in time, they've as a society we've done this in different things. For example, when they started letting black men into the NFL, they were saying that, oh, they only can play certain positions, but they cannot play quarterback, right? And they didn't draft. I mean, it was a point where if a black man was a quarterback in college, they would draft him to the NFL and make him play wide receiver or corner or another position. It was an overgeneralization based on what they thought, right? They're not, they're not smart enough, right? And I know that's an extreme case, but I want to just use that on how it's used at a large scale, right? And then now you have somebody like Lamar Jackson, and he's not the first, and he won't be the last, and there's always going to be somebody that's going to transcend it even past that. We see somebody like Lamar Jackson, an NFL MVP, right? Who's literally like can lead in the top five in rushing and passing, and it's insane. And now it's transforming what people thought this position to be, and this happens across the board. So in our personal lives and as a society, we overgeneralize things, and we look for evidence to prove our bias, to prove our insecurity, to prove our doubt, instead of looking for reason and evidence against our bias, against our insecurities, and against our doubt. So, on a personal level, this can really be setting you back in life, all because your mind is working against you. Your mind is looking for reasons to tell you to stop instead of keep going. Your mind is looking for reasons to tell you to slow down instead of speeding up. Your mind is looking for reasons to tell you to stop looking for a solution instead of asking for help, right? And in so many different reasons, man, I'm telling you, like I be having a lot of great ideas, and sometimes I get nervous to share those ideas with people. And it's like, well, what if they steal it? And it's like, that's a valid thought, right? But what proof or evidence do I have to not trust this person? I don't have any. If anything, I have more proof and evidence that I can trust them and that I should. I can share it with them and they can help me develop this because this idea I cannot do on my own. I try to be very mindful of what God is trying to do through me in this lifetime. And my goal is to die empty. And what do I mean? I mean that at the end of life, any idea, vision, mission, purpose that God gave me, I work towards bringing it to reality. And I don't want to take anything to the grave with me. So I would love for these things to outlive me. So at some point, even though historically I'm a part of it, at some point I might need somebody else to run it. So I have to pour into people and develop and so forth. I'm so grateful for the mind that God has given me, but it means nothing if nothing comes from it. I have to produce. And even that in itself is an overgeneralization. It's a black or white thinking. If I don't do everything I'm supposed to do, then it was pointless. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that being brilliant means nothing if you are always preventing yourself based on fear, doubt, and insecurity to not take action on your brilliance, on the ideas and the fruit that come from your brilliance, right? It means nothing to be the fastest man in the world if whenever you think about going to compete, you are stopped by doubt, fear, and insecurity. That's what I'm saying. And so many of us have so many great ideas, so have so much purpose, have so much potential, and it is blocked by our mind coming up with reasons not to take action. I want you to get comfortable with boldly, proudly, and confidently failing, then to timidly, fearfully not try. That's it. You see, there's a stigma on failing. Oh, quitters don't win, quitters don't win, quitters don't win, quitters don't win. And every successful person I've known has failed at something. Now, I'm not saying failing and quitting is the same thing, right? But they're very similar. The difference is you fail when there's you run out of options to keep going forward. You fail when the door locks and you can't go nowhere. You're like, oh, dang it, you know. Um, you quit when you get in a position and you don't make a decision on which door to go through, or you run out of steam, or you run out of momentum. But I would even say quitting in a tough situation, like knowing when to hold them and fold them, right, is more valuable, is more honorable than not trying. I have so much more respect for those who fail because those who fail try. I have so much more respect for those who quit, right? And for whatever reason that they may have, I still have respect for it because they tried. There's experience to be gained in that. And for some reason, society has just made this like this horrible thing to charge on my equipment. But, sometimes you need the feeling of quit to go back. You think you're quitting, but you're retreating. Even in war, people retreat to recoup, to reassess, to reevaluate. The person who never tried has no data to study, to reevaluate, and readdress. It's these lies that people put on us that makes us never try to begin with. Because the fear of failure, and the fear of shame, and looking dumb or embarrassing ourselves, it's all bullshit. Learn to fail proudly, confidently, boldly. It's way better than not trying.